today's wrap that I am going to show you how to put them on with, I chose these. They're little owls. And I think this one's called What a Hoot. It's very adorable. And yes, so oh, another thing I forgot to mention that you're going to need is a heat source. So when I first started using Jamberry, I did not have the heater. I don't have a hair dryer because I have really short hair, and I didn't know what to use instead. So I actually used my electric stove. I turned it on low heat and I held my fingers and the wrap over the heat off the stove while I put on the Jamberry wraps. It works, but I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you're not used to doing things in your kitchen, because you could severely injure yourself. So if you don't have one of these, this is the old model where the heat comes out of right here in the top. They have a new model that's purple and the heat comes out of the top instead of the front like this. This is basically a mini space heater. It's exactly what happens. You just flick this little switch and well, it's supposed to turn on. Give me 1 second. Oh, it seems it came unplugged. We will fix that right now. Okay, let's try this again. So you just flick this button and it turns on. It's really quiet, as you can tell. So all the heat, the air gets sucked in through the back right here, and then the heat will come out the front. It does get really hot, so I recommend pointing it away from you while you're working. You don't want to the ones you're working with, you don't want to get the adhesive activated, because then you'll ruin the wraps. So I usually work here. I'm on my bed. It's the area in my apartment I have the most space. I point it away from me, and then usually my cat comes up and she likes to steal the space in front of it. But so this is the old model. Like I said, the new model, it's purple and the heat comes out of the top, so it's not directed towards you. It's just up in the air, which is really nice if you are in a limited space, because then you're not getting blasted in the face with hot air. So I'm going to turn this off for now while I show you how to prepare to start to put the wraps on. So first things first, we need to, if you haven't done it yet, you need to push your cuticles out of the way, which I will show you. So first, I take my orange stick right here, and you just kind of go around the outsides of your cuticle, and you push it into kind of a squarish shape. And then again, the pointy side, if you have any cuticle that did come up, I just scrape it away like that. And then you can go around with the soft tip rubber one and gently push it back. The orange scraper I suggest better for if sometimes you have cuticle that's up at the base of your nail but it's overgrown. That's really nice for scraping away any of that cuticle that's there. So then we need to get any oils and remnants off our nail bed. So I usually use nail polish remover and a cotton ball. I'm going to show you both. So I'll show you alcohol swab and nail polish remover. So first you just open up your alcohol swab, and then you just want to scrub off any oils from your nails. I do want to warn you, if your cuticle's really dry because it's winter or whatever, you might feel kind of a burning sensation, because alcohol in open wounds is never pleasant. So that's how you do the alcohol swab. And then the cotton ball, you just take it and just a quick dip, and then you have a little bubble of nail polish remover on your cotton ball. And that's really all you need, because we're not trying to remove nail polish. So you just really need one cotton ball and just a little bit of acetone. And then you just swipe it really quickly along your fingernails and you let them air dry. Try not to touch them too much because then you're going to get more oils from your fingers on your nails, and that's the whole point of the acetone, is we're removing the oils. I prefer the cotton ball method because you'll see in a little bit when you get the scraps from your Jamberry wraps, I stick them to the cotton ball so that they don't have sticker remnants all over the place. The cotton ball is really good at stacking up all of your bits and pieces. So now it's on to the wrap. So you have your sheet right here. These two right here I've never used. They are for pedicures. You're supposed to take this big wrap and cut it into several pieces to use on your smaller toes. I have ridiculously tiny toenails, so I've never even attempted my feet because no one sees my toes except myself and Ed. And these, I don't really use them. The other ones though, especially these ones, these are good if you have artificial nails or bigger nails, or if you don't want to do a pedicure, these are better for that too. I typically end up really only using these last 5 right here because my nails, if you can tell, my nails are pretty small. So I end up using the last 5. So then what I do is I take just a normal pair of scissors and I cut out 1, 2, 3, 4. I cut out the little section that I'm going to be using. So I will cut these ones. And this makes it a lot easier to handle and work with. So then we have the 5 that we're going to be using. If you don't know the ones that you need, if you notice there's a clear back on the wraps, what you do is you would take the wraps and your nail and hold it up. Like obviously that one is way too big for my thumbnail. Move it a little closer. That's way too big. And that, again, you need to find one that fits perfectly in your nail without overlapping onto your skin. If you have ones that don't, like if your nails are a different shape, like this one fits my thumbnail perfectly. If you have ones that don't exactly fit, you can trim the sides so that it will fit your nail. The most important thing is that you don't want it to be up on your skin because that will peel up the edge and it won't last very long. It'll start to come up and things will get under it. It won't be pleasant. You need it to be all on your nail, tucked into corners and not touching your skin as best as possible. Sometimes this doesn't work even for me. Sometimes I am just not on it that day and they only last for a week or so instead of the normal 2 weeks. So find the ones that fit best for you, and then I suggest cutting them out so you don't have to try to hold this whole sheet while you're working with them. It just makes it a lot easier. So at this point I'm going to turn on the heater to start it warming up. It doesn't take very long, but this whole process doesn't take very long. So the Jamberry wraps, you see they're curved on 2 sides, and then they're quite long. This is so that if you have long nails, short nails, whatever kind of nails you have, you can get a full manicure, 2 pair of hands out of one little set. So I usually end up cutting a lot of the middle out because I don't keep my nails very long. This is usually about as long as they get before they start breaking. So what you need to do is you need to hold it up to your nail like this. You need to hold it up. I need you to find about, you can kind of see it right there, about where your nail, how long you're going to need for the Jamberry wrap. And then you want to cut a little bit further out just to give yourself some wiggle room so you can easily manipulate the wrap without it without cutting it too short, because we can always trim it but we can't add more. Well, you could add more, it just won't look very well. It won't look very nice. So what I usually do is I take my scissors
And because my nails are not very long, I usually take and cut the whole thing at once. But I try to give myself some room. So I cut all the way down. And then I flip it over and I do the same thing on the other side. On the other hand, I see about where it's going to be. And then I trim that as well, so that I'm left with a strip in the middle that, like this, that you're not really going to end up using. You can use it for accents or scraps, I guess, but I typically don't. So there you have two sets that are relatively trimmed to what your nail length is, with a little wiggle room, which will make trimming and cleaning up the nail wraps when they're on a lot easier.